David Hamburg here. Don't even have my mic yet. David Hamburg here of Hamburginked. On this week's episode, I sit down with a fellow tattooer. We rework his 20-year-old fucked portrait. We talk about how getting a homemade prison-style tattoo at the age of 14 is a bad idea, what his first tattoo was like, and how he became the legend that works at Elizabeth Street here in Riverside, along with some other heavy hitters. We take his pants off, we don't hold back on the swearing, and don't show your kids, because this one's a wild one.
My name is Zach Peacock.
How old was this when you first got it? Wait, do you remember the year?
It was like 20 years ago, dude.
Damn, 20 years.
Maybe like 2003, 2001, 2002?
Okay.
No. 2005.
Okay.
It was like a year or two after high school.
So we're here with Zach Peacock. We tattooed his Christopher Walken piece on him, and then now we're just talking to the man about the history, because this guy's got so much history in tattooing. And your first time getting tattooed, right? Because you mentioned like fucking house shit, right?
Since I was a little kid, I was always trying to tattoo myself. Like I'd break pens open, like pen ink, and then like try to like scoop it into a cap, and then like, you know, like making homemade tattoo machines. I'd call my uncle. My uncle was in prison forever. Oh, nice. So I'd hit him up and be like, how do I make machines? And like, he wouldn't tell me.
How old are you at this time?
Young.
Young, like
young.
12,
I don't know, 10,
13?
11.
10?
Yeah.
Fuck, okay.
Super young. Not knowing from such a young age that these are all criminals and fuck ups and all that, I just want to look like the people I'm surrounded by. These are friends and family.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, they're painted. I want to be painted. You remember like the folders where they have the clear front page?
Yeah.
And you draw and you put your shit in there?
Yeah, you would draw pictures for homies.
All the friends in the neighborhood would be like, and in school they'd be like, hey, write like Fernando loves Jessica. And like, I got real good at cursive.
Shit, that's
And like, we'd look at like all the old lowrider magazines, and in the back it would be like lowrider art.
Damn.
And it was all the Aztec shit and all like that.
Yeah, because they were painting cars and shit.
So I would look at that shit, and then like I'd draw like an old...
Damn, this fool's straight prisoning it.
Basically.
Yeah.
So it was like, you just see like old lowriders and like a Lincoln Town car on like 100-spoke wire wheels.
Fuck yeah, some Daytons.
Yeah, it'd be all like the back end's dragging, and you'd just be like, that looks sick.
Yeah.
I was drawing mini trucks with like the ass end scraping, you know, like...
Fucking tight.
I didn't know what the fuck I was drawing.
Yeah. I'm from NorCal. We're all about slam trucks.
Yeah.
They don't lift nothing up there.
I was hanging at my buddy's house, and his older brother had just gotten out of juvenile hall or jail, whatever. I think he was like in juvenile hall, and then he like got transferred to big jail.
Got promoted.
And he spent like a year in big jail. Yeah. And then he came out and he had learned how to, he was like bragging to his friends that he was like tattooing in jail.
Okay.
And I was like, prove it. And so he like fucking disassembled a Walkman in front of us. We're in the garage. He's taking it all apart, and he had like a Walkman motor, and he gives me like a guitar string, and he's like, you gotta like rub it on the concrete to sharpen it. And I was like, okay. So I didn't know what I was doing. And so I'm rubbing the needle on the ground, on the guitar string on the ground to sharpen it. And like, that's how they do it. They do it in the prison cells.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think now I know I sharpened it.
Guys, this is horrendous, but this is how it happened. And by all means, like, if this is what you have to do to get tattooed, this is what you have to do to get tattooed.
Yeah, if you're 14.
Yeah.
And you're using a Bic pen as the ink. I don't know how I didn't get like ink poisoning. I have like Bic pen ink all through my right arm.
I'm guessing it probably was just too shallow.
Well, we'll get to that. So he gets it all. He's like taking a toothbrush. He's heating up the toothbrush. He bends it. He like electrical tapes it to the Walkman motor, and then like he's got a.
Wait, so that's the arm bar?
Yeah.
Fuck, is a toothbrush?
Yeah, you take a toothbrush, you heat up the neck, and then you bend it down, and then that's the armature bar. It makes an L, like a 7.
Yep.
You tape it to the motor, and then you take a lead pencil and you cut off the back of the lead pencil.
Yep.
And then that's your tube. And then you take an eraser and you hot glue it offset on the motor of the like you stick it on off to the side.
Yeah.
So that it goes around offset.
We're not teaching you guys how to do this, by the way.
Yeah, we are. And then you bend the end of the guitar string and you stick it in there, and then you do that, and it's like And then when you hook a 9-volt battery up to the bottom of
it just starts spinning.
It spins really slow. So it's like you have to pull your lines extreme.
Oh shit.
They pull lines crazy slow in prison.
Crazy.
The machine's not fast. It's probably like maybe 2 volts.
Whoa,
on a tattoo.
Slow.
On a tattoo machine, it's probably like 2 or 3 volts.
Damn, which is why it's hard to puncture.
Maybe even like 1.5 volts. Like, but it's technically it's a direct drive, so it goes in the skin.
So it pushes.
That's why they do that pepper shading shit in prison. Because the machine's going so fucking slow.
Yeah.
And it's like nobody's pulling. Most people aren't pulling lines in prison. They're doing shading in prison.
Right.
There's lettering and stuff like that, but it's like that's why they do these.
Yeah, but you could. I mean, you see it. Yeah. It doesn't look clean, so it's like.
It's all, and that's why it's like.
And outlining.
If you sharpen the guitar string too much, then it goes too deep. They're going, they're just like.
Because now it's like a long taper.
He puts this shit together. He's like, what do you want? And at the time, I was obsessed with this band called Cold, and the lead singer had a black star on his wrist.
Yep.
And so we had those glow-in-the-dark stars on our ceiling of our roofs in our bedrooms.
Yep.
So I go in my buddy's room and we pull one of those glow-in-the-dark stars off the roof, and I just pressed it as hard as I could on my wrist, and then I moved it, and it left an impression, and his brother traced the impression.
Like with a pen or a marker?
That's what he tattooed. That was his tracing.
Dang. So that's your first one.
And he's trying to pull lines, and it's just like the ink's not going in, so he gets more ink, and it was a disaster. Like a tattoo that we would do in like, I don't know, 3 minutes?
5 minutes,
5 minutes?
less than 5 minutes.
It was like 2 or 3 hours. Fuck, I was like, I'm gonna be tough. I'm gonna be a freshman in high school with a tattoo.
Yeah.
And then I would wear, this is the sweatband era. Yep. Like I would wear sweatbands to cover it. My mom didn't know for like over a month. He went so deep that the tattoo didn't stay.
What's the first tattoo shop you got tattooed in? Do you remember?
On my 18th birthday, my friends put their money together and we went, my first real tattoo was in Lake Elsinore on the main drag. We were skating in Lake Elsinore. My buddy Tom, his grandma had a house out there and he was house sitting. And it just so happened to be the week that I turned 18, and they all chipped together $80 and we went to this tattoo. They was like, how much for this? And I got, at the time I still liked the band Him.
Yep.
And I got just this heartogram.
That's sick.
This is the first tattoo I ever got in a shop.
That's tight.
And it was just the outline of the heartogram, and it was $80. And I walked in, and the guy was like, $80, and they all like, cool, and they chipped in and they bought it.
That's rad as fuck, dude.
And so I was with like 4 or 5 of my closest friends. They put in like, everybody put in like $20, and then I got that tattooed.
Dope.
And it took the guy like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I remember vividly like sitting in the chair and he's doing it, and I'm looking at it, and I was like, oh, it's on. I was like, it's fucking on.
You're like, this is not bad at all.
No,
we're getting blasted.
Immediately, I was like, it's fucking on. So from then on out, I didn't have any money ever. Yeah. So anytime it was a birthday, like, you're a little kid and you're like, for my birthday and my Christmas and whatever, like, I just told everybody, buy me a tattoo.
That's so tight, dude.
I was like, give me money for a tattoo. And then I like, this whole arm.
They still make great presents, by the way.
Yeah, gift certificates too.
Yeah.
So this whole fucking arm
is all of that.
Is mostly like my friends and my mom and girlfriends and stuff buying me tattoos.
That's so sick, dude.
And then I met up with a good, he's still a friend of mine, my buddy Jesse. Yeah. Like Jesse Mora. Like we go way
Shout
back.
Out, brother.
Yeah, so it's like, Jesse's a good dude.
He's still tattooing?
Yeah, he has a shop in Marina Valley.
Okay.
And even like, while he'd be tattooing me, he was like the first unofficial apprenticeship that I got.
That's tight.
Because he'd be tattooing me and he'd be like, pay attention to how I do this. And I was like, why? And he goes, dude, he's like, you're so good with all this shit. He's like, you're gonna tattoo someday. He saw my potential before I even knew what I had.
Okay.
And then fast forward a million fucking years.
I was just gonna ask you, when did you start actually tattooing?
Like 2011-ish.
Okay, and how did that come on?
All of me and all my friends, cause like I would steal my, it was this dude Brady, his older brother Corey. He's the one who bought that tattoo kit that I tattooed myself.
Yep.
So I just took it one day. And I'm tattooing my friends.
How old are you?
Fuck, I don't know. This is like 2011 or something. So maybe I'm like 26 or something.
Okay.
27.
Okay.
And so I like all these palm tattoos I did, all these there's a bunch of cover-ups that Jesse did under these tattoos. Cause I did it I was just tattooing myself.
You're all fuck it.
Didn't care.
Yeah, yeah.
So Jesse had to cover all that shit.
So you did your own palm?
Yeah.
Holy shit,
I did all
bro.
of this. I did all this. And so
that's why you're good at palm.
Yeah, I did all my fingers. I did the sides of my fingers. I did the webs of my fingers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm left-handed. That's why my left hand has nothing.
I never noticed this.
Yeah, that's why this is covered in bullshit.
That's why this is fucking completely tattooed.
I'd sit there and fucking doodle.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
So after a while, I started feeling guilty because I'm like, I'm using all his shit, and I was like, fuck it.
You're burning his needles.
And I was using it to the point where I was like, if I get one, I know I'll use it. And then, or I think he says, he's like, where the fuck is my, and I go, it's at my house. And he's like, what? And I go, you weren't fucking using it. And so he's like, bring it back, I want to use it. I was like, all right. So I brought it back.
Yeah.
And then all my friends that I was skating with, there was like 20 of them. We all chipped in like 20 or 40 bucks. And I did the same thing. I peeled out the middle. Like, this is before the internet, really.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the internet was around, but it's like, this wasn't Amazon. There was none of that shit. So I went to Barnes & Noble and I found a tattoo magazine. I pulled out that center rip out, filled it out with a check, and I sent it off. It came in the mail, and then I was off to the races. I was tattooing every one of my friends.
How long were you tattooing out of your house before you started tattooing in a shop?
1 year.
A year? No shit?
Yeah.
That's pretty fast.
I was like, I was like, is this my fucking life? Like, I work at skate shops. Like, do I need to like get serious about working at these skate shops, or like, do I need to go find a better job? I was like, what the fuck? And I was slowly like, more and more people were, I wasn't just tattooing my friends, I was tattooing my friends' friends.
Yeah.
I was tattooing for like 20 bucks or 40 bucks.
Yeah.
But more and more people were coming to me to get tattooed, and I could see the tattoos were getting incrementally better. Same thing, I look at the photos of the tattoo and I go, well, they don't look like Jim's tattoos. I knew Jim from back in the day. So it's like Danny was getting tattooed by Jim and everybody else, and so I'd watch them and be like, and Danny, she knew Rob Hendrickson. He worked at Brian's shop next to Jim. For an anniversary or something, Danny she paid Rob to build me. Rob was building coil machines. So my first real machine was from Rob.
That's tight.
And he built me a shader, and so I got that. And so like, people are investing, and I'm watching.
You're learning, you're growing.
And I'd show Jim pictures of tattoos I did, and he's like, just do this, you know, like.
That's so
Jim's such a softie, he'd never tell me that how bad they were.
Yeah.
But he would be like, oh yeah, you know, if you did this a little bit better, that would look better. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, Jim's such a fucking sweetheart.
Yeah.
If I looked at it, I'd be like, that fucking sucks, dude. Like,
you should probably fucking put that down.
Fucking do better, dude.
Yeah.
I'm talking to my ex, and I'm like, what the fuck? And she goes, quit your job. She's like, you can always go back and work retail. She's like, retail's not going anywhere.
Yeah, retail.
You have this wealth of knowledge of skateboarding and everything. She's like, you can do anything in that world. And then I just would go and watch Rob Hendrickson and Jim tattoo at Rogue Elephant. And I just was blowing up Brian's email. I was sending Brian emails nonstop. This is when Brian was fighting and working overseas.
Yeah.
And he was just like, we don't need anybody. We don't need anybody. And then so it was just
But you're hanging out there.
Yeah, I'm just going and like, just, you know. And then Jim, he was tattooing Danny one time. He goes, hey, we're opening up a shop in Riverside. He goes, now's a good time to blow Brian up. Me and Mike McCaskill grew up skating together.
Yeah.
So I knew Mike from the old days. As this shop's being built, there was an art show in downtown Riverside in 2013. And Mike calls me. He goes, hey, we need blank skateboards to paint on because it's a skateboard art show. And I go, what do you need? And he goes, can me and Brian meet up with you and we'll go to a skate shop or whatever. So that's when I got to meet Brian face to face. And so he brought Brian and we went to Crooks, and I was like, what kind of board do you need? He's like, I'm kind of looking for something without the shit. And I was explaining like, they're not cheap, but it's like whatever. And he goes, okay. And I was like, hey dude, I know all the dudes at the wood shop. I was like, I can go get you a box of boards. A box of boards is 10 boards. And he's like, that'd be perfect. I was like, I'll get them for a good price. Like we'll figure it out. And he's like, all right, cool. That was like whatever day it was. We'll say it's a Monday. Tuesday morning, I go down to the wood shop. I pick up a box of boards. I got them for like 50, 100 bucks or whatever.
Damn, that's so cheap.
Then I ride here, and that's when Brian was tattooing on the other side. And I pull up with the box of boards.
This shop?
Yeah.
Shit.
This is the next day, and Brian's like, what's up, dude? We just saw you. And I was like, I got those boards. He's like, damn, next day? He's like, you don't fuck around. And so I gave him the box of boards, and he goes, what do you want? And I go, nothing. And he goes, no, what do you want? And I'm like, no, not, they're free. Like, here, do what you want. I was like, I just want to be a part of the shop, like whatever I got to do. And he was like, well, let me tattoo you. And I had a shaved head. Jesse had just done this tattoo on the back of my head. Brian jokingly goes like, let me tattoo your head. I go, you can tattoo my whole head. I don't give a fuck. And he goes, seriously? And so he's like, I'll drop some shit. And like a week or two later, I came back, I looked at the designs, you know, and I was like, those are dope.
Yeah.
And so based off some of the things I gave him, some input, while he was tattooing my head, I know now, it was like almost like He was feeling me out.
Getting to know you.
It was almost like a job interview.
Yeah, making sure you weren't a fucking piece of shit.
So he tattooed me like 2 or 3. He did all the tattoos on my head except for the back one. And every time he'd tattoo a tattoo on my head, it was like we got a little closer. He got to know me.
That's cool.
And then by the time he was done with my head, he had sold Inkaholics, the original Inkaholics, off Alessandro and Peacock, to this dude Brad and Jason.
Yeah.
And they changed the name to Inksmith. And so he goes, I'll put in a good word with them. I can't guarantee anything, but he's like, maybe they'll hire you as a tattooer. So they gave me a real interview there.
Damn,
I got a call back. They called me back. I tattooed there for an entire year. I did that.
That's tight.
And then the following year, 2014, I get a text message from Brian, and all it said was put in your 2 weeks. No hi.
You're like, I fucking don't even need anything.
No, how are you doing?
The best news ever.
I wish I had that screenshot. Like, I should have screenshotted that text message.
Cool, yeah.
Because it was just like,
I'm sure it's burned in your mind, brother.
all it said was, it said Brian Foster, and then the message read, put in your 2 weeks. And I wrote back, you got it. That was the whole message for that day.
That's so tight.
I told Brad and Jason that day, I was like, hey man, like, I'm giving you my 2 weeks. And they're like, where are you going? And then they knew, they go, you're gonna go work for Brian, huh? And I go, yeah.